Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good night. Whichever matches you, good to see you. We're doing something a little bit different today. If you notice on our letterhead or our cards, you'll see the words or the quote, enabling others to have a life that otherwise wouldn't have. You probably look at that and just let it go, but I don't. Didn't get in this business ever with the intention of managing money and providing investment advice as my end game. I wanted to help people have a life that otherwise wouldn't have. I wrote a book, Live the Life You Have to Dream, that teaches this process in the book. I've got another book I'm writing called What is Money that's also going to reference today. But I'll tell you why I come to you with this today. Life experience. Same reason I started JCN. Of all people, my mother-in-law, Karen's mama, lives over in Sherwood Forest, and her power is going off all the time. Different storms, hurricanes, etc. And it's a stressful time for her. She's 87 years old. She's got diabetes. She has some health trouble. And so we're picking her up or trying to find out whether she needs to pick us up. A whole lot of stress. And just yesterday, Karen's on the phone with her in the morning. I'm at the house. She's talking to June. And June's lamenting her power went out. And I suggested Karen tell her to get a generator. And she did. And June said, I can't afford that. And I said, June, I manage your money. You can't afford that. Well, she was unsure. And I said, June, I want you to think about something. You've got a bucket of money. Now, your bucket has an overflow or interest. And that's what you're spending, right? You're 87 years old and you're spending your interest. So your bucket is going to go away with you when you go away to your family. Why not take some money out of the bottom of the bucket to buy the generator? Now, there's 4 pivot points I teach in this book. Fear, courage, control, and compromise. So June was fearful of spending the money. That's a pivot point. She compromised by saying, I'm not going to get the generator. And she didn't have the courage to do it. So after some conversation with her, I said, June, you have a CPAP machine, you have health conditions, you need to do this, take more for it, you're fine. Spend some money you're never going to spend. Spend some money you never plan on spending, never going to spend on making your life better and our life better. So she got a generator. Well, we're getting the generator. And it made me think about each one of y'all. A real worry I have is if I don't do my job with you. My job, not the job you've given me, but my job. See, my job for you, when you come to my door, was to enable you to have a life you otherwise wouldn't have. Money is what? What really is money? It's just stored energy. So if you leave this earth and a lot of stored energy behind, you never benefited from that. So that's why I'm always encouraging y'all to think about flying first class. You got a long trip. You're going to go to Washington State or going to go to California. You spend a little bit extra of money that you're never going to spend to feel better when you get to your destination. I've been doing this for 21 years, enabling people to have a life otherwise wouldn't have through my book. And these pivot points, fear, courage, control, and compromise, those are the pivots you'll use every day to have a better life or not so good life. And I encourage each one of you to stop and think about what you really want to do in your life. What's something that you and your spouse would like to do, accomplish, or experience that you haven't done? Now, you may say, John, we've done everything. Hey, that's good. Very good you've done that. Let me tell you something else you might consider doing. I often hear people say, John, I don't know what my purpose is. And I almost chuckle when I hear that, because I'll tell them this. I'll say, dude, I know your purpose. And they say, what do you mean you know my purpose? I say, I know what your purpose is. Your purpose, my purpose, all of us have the same purpose. And that is to help our neighbor. So if you've done everything you want to do for you and your family, give some to help somebody else. Many organizations, John's Dream, our foundation, we'll take it. I'm not asking for it here. But I want you to be thinking about, between now and the next time we visit, what is something you want to do, you want to accomplish that you've never accomplished? Share it with me. And my job is going to be trying to help you accomplish that. Now, we have a short period of time in these videos. I can't go into a lot of detail of how this process works. When you come in for our meetings, I'm going to share with you one-on-one how this works. But I'm introduced somebody I met 3 years ago when I was speaking at a college, and have her share with you how using these pivot points, learning how it's how you react to what happens to you. So you can't control what does happen to you, but you can control how you react to it. Her name is Tori Parent, and I'm going to introduce her here just momentarily. So if you start to think about it, how often are you told during your high school or college career how to be happy? Just weren't told that. And think about the way we're raised. Don't, won't, can't, couldn't, shouldn't, wouldn't. The most negative words in the world. So I wrote this book. I've got a process to how to have a great life. Now, that can apply to different things, different people. Some of us have good lives already. If you're my client, all my clients have really good lives. But how do you have an exceptional life? You have to do something different. And I teach this to these pivot points. Now, if you would like a hand, be sure and contact John and I'll do that. But if you know somebody else needs a hand, be sure and forward their name to Tori Parentier. Tori, I met several years ago. I was in a speaking engagement at our college. And Tori, share what happened from our first meeting, what transpired, how you got to where you are today.
Well, I saw Mr. John's first video that I've ever seen of him. It was the first time I ever met the man. And the video was of I call it a honeymoon because it's not an anniversary to me. They still seem like they're on the honeymoon phase. So they were on their trip and I saw the kind of love that I'd never seen before. I saw the kind of love that I always wanted. And seeing something that strong made me so emotional that I cried. And it really got to me. It really made me think about what I really wanted in my life. What was the most important thing to me? I sat down with Mr. John for the first time, and he could just see the complete despair in my life. Like it was all over my face. It was deep in my eyes. It was just everywhere. My whole body, you could just see the pain and the depression and everything. And he gave me these few pointers to change my life. And within 3 lunches, it happened. And I have a better home life. I have better relationships with friends, family. I have better friends, and I'm closer with my good parts of my family. My relationship with my kids has changed. I have a better relationship with my fiance than I ever thought possible. And I attribute all of that to Mr. John and all of his help.
I would say that part of your relationship with your fiance has to do with how you feel about yourself.
Absolutely.
Right? You understand your own value.
Everything from how I thought about myself changed because of that book and Mr. John helping as much as he did.
And Tori had, you'll see on the John's Dream website, her video, John Speaks. She had a very traumatic childhood, very, very terrible childhood and young adult life. So she overcame her tremendous amount. Now, she's mentioned these videos. My office is going to send you these anniversary videos that I do. I've done, I think, 6 of them with my wife now. I do this for a reason. If someday I'm not here, I want my wife to know. I want to speak to her from beyond and tell her how much I love her. I was talking to a lady this morning. Her husband's 70 years old. He's got a type of dementia taking place. A lot of stress for her. And I was yearning to try to help her. And unfortunately, I did most of the talking most of the time. But when I finally stopped to listen to her, I got some insight to what I can do to help her. You see, control, courage, compromise, and fear. Those are pivot points. So I thought, what control does she have? Asked her. Yeah, well, one thing she could do, she could get into outside help to free her up to be able to do more things. That's one thing. And the fear part that she had, fear about potentially about money or fear about whatever else, we're going to address that and we're going to control what we can control. But I told her, I said, if you stop and think about it, you've had a great marriage, your husband's 70 years old. Stop and think about that. If I had a choice of living to be 90 years old, having a terrible marriage, or live 70 years old, have a wonderful marriage, then come down with dementia, which would I take? Think about that. Which would you take? I want the quality first. So what I suggested to her, I said, let me make a video. John's Dream is our nonprofit. And we'll make a video just like the ones that Bobby's going to send you on my anniversary videos. Now, I'm telling you as a client, or maybe just a guest watching this video, if you want a video like that, let us know. We'll do as many of them as we can per year. They're pretty, the video looks pretty simple. A lot of work goes into it. I do the work. So I'll interview you, find out what's going on in your life, your highs and lows, what you and your spouse's favorite songs are, sentimental moments, and we'll make a video for you. And we don't charge a dime. John's Dream pays for it. That's anywhere between $2,500 and $5,000 value. But for the one lady we're doing this for, I'm going to do everything I can to capture who she is, who her husband is. But you see, at the end of the day, when you lose a loved one, you never really lose them.
You never really lose them. My grandmother in Mississippi was by far the strongest force in my entire life ever. She passed away in 1994 and hasn't left me one moment of the day. I think of my grandma almost every day. So we think about those we love, and they're always with us in our mind. And it just dawned on me as I'm speaking to her, for all of my clients that want a video, I'd love to make one for you, so that you could use it in years to come. You can reflect back on that and see the love each of you have for yourself. And I'll include your family in that, and I'll make it a humdinger. So without any further ado, let me know if you'd like to go on a list for a video. Bobby Johns will check back with you. And if you know of anybody that's in need right now, contact my office. Or Tori actually runs John's Dream now, so contact Tori at the office, and we'll do our dead level best to give them a hand. Thank you all much. Take care.